a method that's in the Java API, right? That's in the integer class. So there is a static method. As soon as you see the word static, as we reviewed earlier, that means you can simply say integer, the class name, dot parseInt, the method name. We know that, right? And the parseInt takes some input parameter of type string, returns something like an integer, takes a string, return the integer, and it specifies an exception. Throws is something called number format exception. Okay? So we're going to see how we can play with this exception here. We'll see. Let's see how we can use it. If you call integer.parseInt, you got to pass a string value, right? So here the string literal simply contains the value 23. So this is somehow called convertible. You can convert this string here into the integer value 23. So this is the normal case where the number format exception did not occur. On the other hand, if I try this one here, the string I put is simply like this. Even though you spelled it out like 23, no, it wouldn't accept it. It will give you the number format exception. Or if I pass maybe the crow, Alan, it will also give you number format exception. If I pass the maybe crow, I don't know, LSB, it also give you number format exception, right? So you got to give a string that can be directly converted into an integer, okay? So that's the rule. Given this, we basically want to write a program. Somehow, it's going to prompt the user for some string from the keyboard. As long as the user enters something that cannot be converted into an integer, we're going to keep prompting them until they actually give us maybe 23. So it will return 23. That's the program we want to write. And this one sounds just like this radius example we did, right? Version 2. The user is going to keep entering the radius value. Maybe they keep entering something that's negative, but until they enter the positive value, we're going to keep prompting them, keep reminding them. Similar. All right. Let's take a look at this one here, right? That one, they can think about how you might implement it, but I'll just give you the solution right away, and let's go over that quickly too. The logic will be very similar, basically the same. Okay, let's take a look. We have some Boolean variable here. I just call that valid integer. And then we have some condition here, right? Not the case, valid integer. And then we say that valid integer will be assigned to true. As soon as it becomes true, not true is going to be false. We exit from the loop, right? The same logic as before. Let's now try to see what's going to happen. And we assume that user is going to enter something that cannot be converted into integer, and then they're going to enter 23, let's say. Okay? Let's now trace the code. So first of all, we create a scanner, and then we initialize the Boolean variable to be false. I can put it here. So that's the valid integer. Initially, it's simply just false. Number 3, we're going to check to see whether we should go into loop for the first time. In this case, not false, true. Go into loop. So number 4, we're going to say enter an integer. Enter an integer. And the user is going to enter something, right? We assume that they're going to enter 23. They're going to enter 23. So the user input is now going to store 23 as a string. So when we go to the try block, let's say this is number, okay. So this one here, of course, is number 5. And then we try this one here. So the user integer is now 23, the string being passed. What's going to happen to this line here when we call that? Is it going to give us an exception? It should, right? Because 23 here cannot be converted into integer 23. So we can expect number format exception thrown. Meaning that we're going to bypass the rest of the try block and go directly to the catch block, which will match the number format exception right here, right? And then we're going to say this is not valid. Okay, you're going to see something like a not valid. And let them try again. So after 7, we are reaching the end of the loop. And we're going to check the while condition once more, right? So this will be number 8. Okay? Not false. True. Second iteration. And then number 9, enter an integer. Enter an integer. And then number 10, the user is going to enter 23. That means the user input this time is going to be 23. Okay? So when we get to 11, making the method call right here for the second time. It's like that. Calling the same method. But now this time, are we going to get number format exception? Not really, because 23 is a quote. In the quote can be converted into the integer, right? So that means the user integer this time is going to store 23. And then we will be able to go to the next line, 12. And the rest of the catch block will be bypassed, right? It's exactly this 2 different execution flow. After 12, we go to the end of the loop. And we're going to check this one more time, right? Oh, by the way, you will actually set this one to be true, right? All right. So go to the end of the loop, and we are going to check this one here the final time. So this will be 13. Okay, I'm running out of space, but 13 is checking this one for the final time. So not true, false, exit from the loop. Right? So this one worked just like the radius example. But this one here is also very useful. Somehow you want to read some value from the user that can be turned into integer, right? Just by using the library method, right? But here what we're using is really about a method may or may not throw certain exception. When you want to catch it or not to catch it, right? You want to use this kind of logic here. All right, any questions? All good? Yes, please.
Explain how the computer determines whether something is a string or like an integer here. Then you put in like, when you put 23 in words,
Right.
does it know that it has to be an exception?
So, of course, that's really up to how the library method is implemented, right? So when you look at these 2 strings, right? This is a string with the character 2 followed by 3. And this is a string with T, W, E, and T, Y, etc. So these are 2 different strings. Somehow the method, Parsing, has a way to figure out whether the characters you're entering here really correspond to an integer. For us to see it is kind of obvious. But when computer work with it, you got to work on the string. Yeah, so it's different. Yeah. So Parsing actually is quite a useful method to use. You might see some use of it, maybe outside this course as well.
Parsing